I think so. I think you can train a good conscience in martial arts because, again, like when Jesus said to turn the other cheek, uh, that is not in a sports setting. I believe if someone were to come here and punch me on the face right now, and knowingly, I mean, remember that Jesus could have called fire down from heaven, he could have brought a host of angels, and he could have done away with everything right there because of who he was. And there's even prophets who called down fire from heaven, okay? And God didn't even judge them on that. But Jesus could have did all that, but he said, I give my life. I give it. Now, if I let somebody beat me up, okay, I'm letting them beat me up. Now, if somebody hits me and I go just demolish them with the strength that I have, is that necessarily right? The Bible talks about an eye for an eye, but what reward is there for that? Jesus said, bless those who persecute you. Bless and curse not. So would it be, I mean, if you want to talk about for the law's sake, if someone goes to hit me and I hit him back, yeah, it's just, right? And maybe it wouldn't be okay if someone were to hit me and I go break their arm and put them in a chokehold and go crack open their face, not to be vocal or rude about it, but that everyone say that's not just because of the power you have. But now someone will look at me and said, hey, that guy just punched Brandon, and because of Jesus, Brandon did not punch them back. Look at that guy, Brandon's letting that person beat him up. Why? Because of Jesus. Because without Jesus, I'm the most horrible person on earth. And until I believe that everybody realizes that, then's a true awakening in your spirit, knowing that you can't do anything apart from him. Because when somebody hits you, you're going to want to hit back, but because of Jesus, you won't. You know, in some aspects, in my own heart, I believe that they're right, and saying Jesus didn't tap, but we got to understand, Jesus didn't tap. I mean, what are the motives behind somebody saying Jesus didn't tap? You know, we got to look at it from their standpoint, and we got to understand it's all spiritual. Yeah, Jesus didn't tap out to the world. He didn't give in. He never sinned. He didn't do anything, and he died for us, and he rose again. So and that's why it's got to be an awakening. And there might be some people that need to hear and they need a voice, because there might be a lot of people out there misled. They think that they need to do martial arts and this fight is an actual physical fight, when it's not a physical fight. It's not. Jesus said, my kingdom is not, it's where? If it was here, he would have stayed. You know what, for some people, not to judge, because I don't want to judge anybody, I believe for some people it is violence. And some people, like I said, they haven't, when you do something for a very long time, and if you ask anybody who's been in the martial arts for a long time, they're going to tell you what it's really about. And most people who are enlightened will tell you that you learn not to fight. I mean, that's the whole thing, is you learn not to fight. Now, do I think that it's great that we can live in America and have a sport and have referees that no one really gets hurt or injured? Because when I get hit, it hurts, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, sometimes it hurts walking, you know. But you know, and I'll sit down and take a break. So I really don't think it's that type of violence. I don't think God looks at that, because he looks at your heart and what you're doing it for. You got to remember the passage, and you got to also remember the passage in Psalm where he strengthens my hands for war, and you know, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Now you got to understand that even David, what did he do? He slew Goliath. He was a man of war. Now I know the Bible talks about if you go to war, there's a whole different set of rules, because you're in war. Now, let's say we were going to go to war again, okay? Let's say we were forced to go to war, and all we're doing is training to go to war. Because that's all we're doing is training. We're not killing anybody. You're training. How do you think that soldiers get good in a fight? How do you think they got good back then? By swinging their swords? How do soldiers get good now protecting our great country? What do? They go practice shooting things. Yo, I think that it's cruel if you go up and you punch somebody in the face and they don't want to fight, or you force someone to fight you, doesn't want to fight you. I mean, this is not barbarians. And no one is getting forced in the cage to fight me or to fight anybody else. That would be wrong. But what? You have trained athletes who train. A lot of them train their whole lives or train many years for this, and they know what they're getting themselves into, and they've trained their body to do so. Just like you wouldn't put somebody in war who doesn't know anything and stick them on the front lines. You wouldn't do that. That would be cruel. But a seasoned soldier, you would want to go do that, because that's what he was there for. What exactly is violence? What are you supporting in violence? You could be going to certain stores and be you don't know who the owners are, and you could be buying their product, supporting whatever type of life that they're living, supporting real violence. It's entertainment is what it is, and it's a way. I mean, and not to reap. There's physical benefits to it. There's mental benefits to it. I can't tell you how many things that being in the cage has shown me about myself, in training has really matured me as a person. So before I was just so gun-ho to want to do everything, and then like a job or like life, you mature and you realize some things really don't work when you're trying hard. I can't tell you how many injuries I've had, how many things that I've been through that has shown me that's not the right way to think when you're going into a fight, or that's not the right way to approach it. So I've found a balance now, because this has been one of my, it's been a question this whole time: am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And in the end, I gotta remember that it is just a sport. And if someone was forced to be in there with me, that would be unjust violence, or that would be violence, and I wouldn't support it at all. I don't know if they're trying to kill that duck or try to mate with that duck. Get off him, woman. You guys jump in and save him, or you think what do you think's going on there? What does he do? Hey! This is more like a duck with this, a nice little duck with this, yeah, right by the good buck.